Thanks, listeners, for joining us for Elko Live today. Today is the day that we get to catch up with Jill Tingey Baker, of course, or Jill Baker Tingey. Jill, as I've known her, and our community knows you, Jill, and we appreciate all of your efforts on behalf of the University of Nevada, Reno's UNR Extension Service as an educator, a researcher, and certainly really a backbone of so many activities here in rural Nevada. Welcome, Jill. It's great to see you.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Well, thank you, Jill. We have a big list of topics today to get caught up on because, as usual, it's not what is UNR Extension up to, it's what is UNR Extension not doing these days. So, yes. So the first thing we want to remind people, October is National Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and we have this amazing program in our community known as Heart and Hope, and this number's probably gone up since the information was published, but you've helped at least 46 families in Elko, more than 100 children, to help escape the cycle of domestic violence in our community.
Yeah, I think, I didn't check our numbers, but we're probably getting close to 70 families at this point. And so we have just started a session last night, but we still want to invite more families, especially we tried to really target families with children birth to 8 years old. And with that, we have a Nevada Department of Education grant. And part of that grant, it's a family engagement grant, and we're able to offer a $25 gift card for families who complete the 9-week session. And so we're so excited. We've never been able to offer anything like that before. And of course, our families come, we feed them a meal, and then they participate in our program that lasts, it's 2 hours from the time they get there to when they leave. But they're learning great skills to build resilience and grow as a family and develop healthy relationships.
And that's really key to escaping that cycle. And so for people who are interested in this, Jill, is there a certain point where they kind of drop into the process? Is it designed for families at the beginning when they just start to realize that they need to change the family dynamic? Or can people come back if there have been repeat issues, for example?
Yeah. So usually one of the ways that you qualify for the program, of course, is that you've had experience with intimate partner violence. It may be that as a parent, you have been a victim and you are a survivor of domestic violence, or you may be caring for children. You may be a custodial parent or a foster parent or an aunt or a grandparent taking care of grandchildren, and the grandchildren or the children have been the ones who've been exposed to that domestic violence. And we've had a few families who've said, I grew up in a home. I'm in a happy relationship with my partner now, but I experienced this and I don't want to parent the way that my parents parented, and I want to avoid that. So they've come to us in that way. So the one key thing is that we don't pick up families who are currently in the midst of an unhealthy relationship where there is domestic violence occurring, because we sometimes know that we can be putting them at risk of being harmed more because the abusive partner picks up on those skills that a family is learning, and so we don't want to put them at harm. And so usually we ask them to wait until they're able to maybe move on and either have a better relationship or that they've left the relationship. But yeah, sometimes we have families who said, I've been through 2 relationships that weren't very good, and it doesn't matter how many relationships they've had, but we don't have them living or dating the unhealthy partner.
All right. So that again is key, and that is part of this process. If you do need immediate help, you can call Committee Against Domestic Violence. The Harbor House Shelter, can be the first step in the process to escape violence in the home. And I guess, Jill, I would just ask too, why is it important that we do this sometimes for our children? As you said, maybe some people are used to having this kind of relationship.
Yeah, the hope of our program, the Heart and Hope program, is that our children don't repeat that cycle, that they don't become perpetrators later on, or that they don't become victims. And that's really the key thing. And yes, our Harbor House Committee Against Domestic Violence, they are so good with those survivors who are in the midst and really struggling with challenges and helping them think through how can they make it work, because it's really a hard decision to leave an abusive situation. So they do that hard work. We work closely with them with our domestic violence high-risk team. We actually, all three of us, went down to Reno last week and presented a workshop to the Nevada Coalition to End Domestic and Sexual Violence. So really focused on that throughout the state and how we can inform the work we're doing here in Elko County, because we're the only rural county with a domestic violence high-risk team.
Jill Tingey is our guest today from our local extension service. Thank you, Jill, for that update. That's really important work. If people want to find more information about enrolling in the Heart and Hope program, what's the best way to do it?
They can contact Julie Woodbury. She's our Heart and Hope coordinator. Her number is 775-340-8360. Or the easiest way too is just you can go onto our Cooperative Extension website, which is www.extension.unr.edu, and then type in the search Heart and Hope, and that'll lead you right to our registration. Or yes, give Julie a call, or you can call our main line at the office, 775-738-7291.
Thank you, Jill. Appreciate that. And then moving on to the next topic, which this has so much to do with all the success that our youth have had in the recent Elko County Fair and Livestock Show and Sale. And then we'll dovetail that with some recently published study results about how positive 4-H is for youth.
Yeah, so this is our new 4-H year, starting October 1st, and then the first week of October is our National 4-H Week. So we're gearing up for a new 4-H year, and just want to encourage families who've considered, I'd like my kids to get involved with a group of kids that's positive, where they're learning new skills, feel like they have a sense of belonging, and get those opportunities to connect with other kids. 4-H is that wonderful program where you get to choose how involved you want to be in the program. We're definitely trying to find more kids who might be interested in KVs, which are guinea pigs. We have a few kids who are doing that right now, but we want to grow that a little bit more. We would love to start our reptile 4-H club. We are heading into our state 4-H expo at the end of the month in Fallon, and there are several clubs in some of our western counties that are really involved with reptiles, and it's a huge display, and they've got huge clubs, so I know it could work. We just need to find that adult volunteer who'd like to teach kids more about raising reptiles. And then year long, we have an art club that meets one Friday a month at the Extension office, and they're always doing really fun things. So for kids who love arts and crafts, it's the place to come and find out about that as well. But there's many more projects than what I'm sharing today, but there's something for everyone in 4-H.
Yeah, definitely. From sewing to photography to working with, as you mentioned, the small animals or even the larger animals. That one's kind of sealed up because we do have a lot of livestock involvement in Elko County, proud ranching tradition. But if you can think of something that you enjoy, maybe it's shooting sports, for example. I know that archery is really popular, Jill. These are all areas 4-H covers.
Absolutely, yeah. Actually, shooting sports is our largest 4-H project in the county.
Wow, that's incredible. We've had some amazing winners on the state and national level too. And that ties in with, and we're both really excited about this, a recently published study that did come from California where they did do a type of survey to tell us about 4-H alumni, Jill.
Yeah, I was so excited because it just came in my inbox today and I was reading it. And so what they did is they did a study with young people, and I'm not sure what the ages were, but adults who had participated in 4-H as youth, and asked them several questions. And the key points were that those California 4-H alumni were twice as likely to have a bachelor's degree or an advanced degree compared to the general California population. they had higher rates of full-time employment, and they were more satisfied with their physical, mental, social, and economic health. So they felt like, hey, I can do this. I might not be making the money I want right now, but I could be making more with my skills and the things that I know how to do. They were also had more positive attitudes toward community involvement, voted more often, and it was like, I vote every time or I vote almost every time, was how they most of the respondents responded to that question. And they said they volunteered more often than the general population. And so I think that's great. That's a neighboring state of ours. And so I would say, knowing the 4-H program in California, it's not all that different from our state. And not that we can say our Nevada 4-Hers are just like that, but I would say we could find similar results if we were to be able to do a study like that.
Yeah, that's exciting, Jill. Successful citizens, and that can begin with that 4-H youth development and leadership. Again, there's no reason to think that this same kind of incentive wouldn't be there. As you said, positive attitudes, volunteering more often, and just that general citizen success. That's just really exciting to learn that and to know that we can participate in that here in Elko County.
That's right. Yeah, it really is our goal to find more volunteers to help us to be able to deliver that program and help young people build wonderful skills that help them be contributing positive adults in the future.
Jill Tingey is our guest today. She's with UNR Extension, talking about any number of programs that are underway, that are ongoing. Again, October 1st is the sign-up date. You can sign up for 4-H anytime, but it is nice if you're keeping a journal or a log, you can kind of get right in step with that
right.
October 1st date. So on to Health Rocks, which is also an ongoing program focused on youth.
Yes, it's our 4-H Health Rocks program. It's focused on substance abuse prevention as well as mental health promotion, and really focuses a lot on social skills and connecting with others to make great decisions about what they choose to do with their bodies. And we have recently received more funding from the National 4-H Council on this particular program, and sometimes we think that, it's best to get kids into 4-H when they're 9 and 10, but really any age is great. And this particular program, we're targeting teens who we will train. They might even get to travel to a different community for the training, and we'll arm them with teaching supplies and other swag so that they can get out there in the community and teach younger kids about the importance of thinking about what they are choosing to do and make good, healthy decisions about themselves.
These kinds of programs, by the way, in developing youth leadership, starting at these younger age, they really feed into some other important local programs, right, Jill? Like the Hope Squad, for example.
Yeah, absolutely. It just ties and dovetails so well with what the Hope Squad is trying to do in preventing suicide and increasing the number of kids who are connecting with one another and building those social and emotional skills. It's so important at any age, really, even for our older adults. We all need to continue to do that throughout our lifetime. And I think when we set that stage early in our life and our young people's lives, the better they are to be able to continue to do that.
These are our trusted programs with local leadership. Volunteers are needed, not just for the 4-H hands-on programs, to encourage our youth to explore their abilities, to develop new skills, but to form lasting relationships too, and then developing leadership, as we've been talking about. You can find all these programs and opportunities right here in Elko through our local office.
That's right, yes.
So if we move on, we're going to talk about agricultural and natural resources. Those are also some ongoing. These are projects for people who are in business.
That's right. And we have so many different things going on. And really a lot of our agriculture programs are also geared for people who want to maybe get into the business but aren't quite in the business. But an example is that this Friday we have a high tunnel workshop that will give advice on how to do high tunnel growing, where you can get funding to build your high tunnel, how you get started, and what are the best practices. And it's this Friday. It is in Fallon, but if anyone wanted to attend, they are certainly welcome to head down to Fallon. They can call the extension office and we can give them them the information. But the program is free. It just takes your time and gas money to get down there. And then another program we have the following week is the program called Cattle, Creeks, and Conservation, and it's using virtual fencing and regenerative practices to promote water quality and soil health. So we're always looking at how do we make our rangelands more usable for all kinds of uses. And so this program is really kind of focused on that. And again, it's free. It's on September 26th, and it's also all day long in Fallon. But great opportunity to kind of learn about this virtual fencing. So cool to see how technology and agriculture work together. So these are putting, and Paul was showing me the device that they're putting on cattle is like 2-3 inches long and 1 inch wide, and they're able to track and then move those cattle to different places on the range so that they're not overgrazing and they're grazing in the right areas. It's just fascinating to me that we can do all of that really from a punch of a phone to do that. So
wow, that is exciting. And it's some of this kind of technology that is in use. It's been deployed in places like the Cottonwood Ranch, where they have just been recognized again with a national award for their holistic management, but they're a family, a beloved family that ranches, northern Elko County, I guess, north of Wells.
Right.
Yes, and they are they're a great example of how, because I understand that not only do they use the virtual fencing and regenerative practices, but they're able to enhance that herd management, and it's much more profitable this way. So,
and they've just been great partners with Extension for years and years, and we love having them as collaborators.
So congratulations again to the Smith, and I think that there's a new generation on the ranch too, so that's great for them. Yes. So we also want to highlight the fact that our local extension service does amazing research that leads to on-the-ground projects. A lot of great work. Just putting in a quick plug for Fred Steinman from the School of Business, because I know he came out, he's been doing a series, he did a series of workshops for the city's strategic planning, Jill, and he'll be releasing some more results of that pretty soon.
Yeah. So we are oftentimes doing quite a bit of research, and this time we really want to appeal to the public. We're doing a survey called Where We Live, and the goal is to enhance the water sustainability due to heat, drought, and wildfire hazards in the Humboldt River Basin. And so this study and project is being funded by the National Science Foundation, and it's actually being conducted with 3 universities, and UNR is one of the universities that they're doing it. And so what we need from the public is to participate in a survey, and you can help us identify how we might adapt, what strategies we can use to better adapt to water sustainability, and how can we make that more possible in the future. And the results will be summarized in an extension publication, and also for those who participate in the study, they'll get a direct link to those results, so they'll get to see what Nevadans said. And really this is focused on all the counties that are affected by the Humboldt River Basin. So we start here in Elko County, and we go through Humboldt, and we all actually go down to the top of 9 County as well. So we're looking for people across counties to participate, and especially producers and people who use the rangeland and the river basin for their well-being or for their
livelihoods.
Livelihood, yes. That's the word.
I knew you were almost there.
Thank you. And so we really want to hear from them and be able to that survey is the start of doing this project, and we really need to know how people feel about that. And so if people are welcome to reach out to our extension office to find out more information on how they can access the survey.
Oh, good. So, and as Jill Tingey mentioned, you can find the local extension service in person on Walnut Street, just a couple blocks up from Great Basin College, or you can certainly go online. There's just so much research. You can go to page after page. But to participate in this survey in particular, Jill, any direct links or just visit the page?
Yeah. Did I bring
That's
that?
okay.
I did bring that actually, so I have it.
There's
So,
a QR code too, which those
there
don't
is
translate
a QR
well
code, which
to
is
radio.
not helpful because I don't have the direct link.
That's
but,
okay.
Yes, if you will just give us a call, 775-738-7291, I would be happy to make sure that we get you the link. And I
Perfect.
apologize, I didn't even think about bringing the
No,
direct.
again, things get out all the time, and I think QR code. How do I figure that out on the radio? But it's true. Just go to the Extension Service website. I can even, you can even type in some keywords, the Where We Live survey, and it'll take you right to that. I'm sure, Jill.
Yes.
So thank you for that. And again, the public input is needed to identify adaptation strategies to inform how we can support future water sustainability. Happy to report that here in the city of Elko, I just had our water officials on yesterday, Jill, and we are in the midst of our water modernization plan with water meters being installed.
Yeah. So we are all affected by that river basin, and if we don't have water, it's very hard to water our plants and vegetables and flowers and the things that give us that quality of life of living here in Elko County.
That's right. And we have to monitor and conserve and show the accountability. Otherwise, the state could come in and say, well, you can't grow anymore. I mean, and that's the other, that's the flip side of that as well. So be part of this process in helping to identify and to talk about some strategies. The results will be coming out with a publication. And then next time you come back on the radio, we'll probably talk about that.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yes. Another really important topic that UNR Extension has been collaborating on, and this goes back a few years. I think Jill is one of the first people to come on this radio show and talk about suicide prevention, specifically when it comes to families in agriculture.
Yeah. We know that families in agriculture are 6 times more likely to die by suicide than the general population. 6 times. That's a huge number. And what we know about working in agriculture is how stressful it is. We know that there's so many things out of producers' hands, whether it be weather, whether it be drought, wildfire. So many things can affect their bottom line and their success in their livelihood. So it's an incredibly stressful industry to be in, and yet none of us would be alive if we didn't have them, because we wouldn't be able to eat, and we know that that's the way we survive is by our food and water. And so what we've done is we have a Managing Agriculture Stress, which is on our website, and if you go there, you can find a lot of great resources. We actually have there's several different national organizations and websites, like for Farm Aid, which is focused on suicide prevention. So of course you can always call 988, which is one suicide prevention way to get help immediately. But then there's other resources that are related to agriculture, which is really helpful for people in ag to know that there's others who are also in the same boat. But what's exciting, one of the things I've been working on this summer with a team of people is 2 different films. So the first film's kind of been on our website for a while, and it's called Grounded in Family. This family was kind enough to be interviewed on their ranch in Montana, and it talks about how they are resilient and how family helps them deal with the uncertainties of ranching and farming. And then our second film was just put out this a couple of months ago, and it's called Growing Humanity, American Women Farmers and Ranchers. And so it's focused on female producers and their stress and what their stress looks like as opposed to others, and what it's like when they're really the people driving and making all the decisions for their farming. And so just great ways to see resilience, but also to understand those stresses. So for people who don't know much about farming and ranching, they're great to get an idea, but for people who really do live it every day, it's great to watch that and get some ideas on, oh, maybe I could try this, maybe I could add this into my into the way I operate and practice. I'd also say that if anyone was having a meeting or a gathering and they would love to do the films aren't very long. They're like less than a half an hour long. But if somebody wanted to host something and they'd love to have a discussion about the film, we actually developed a discussion guide, and I would be happy to come out and facilitate that or work with someone to facilitate a conversation around that important issue of managing stress and preventing suicide.
Well, thank you for reminding us again of the significance of the issue, because September is National Suicide Awareness and Prevention Month. But at the same time, this stress never lets up. This is year round.
It does not.
Yes. Yeah. And so these are really important resources, and these films were developed as a result of the kind of research and the caring that is done, and the work that is accomplished by meeting with families and with people who have experienced different trials and tribulations, Jill, and hopefully these films can inspire other people, to better health and to sharing their experiences.
That's right.
Yes. So if people want to see the films, are they also at the website?
They are on our website, yes.
Nice.
So if they just go to www.extension.unr.edu, and then you can just type in Managing Ag Stress, or you can type in the films Grounded in Family or Growing Humanity, and that should bring up the films, take you right to them.
Oh, that's great. And as you mentioned, they're just about a half an hour or less in length, and it's something you can watch while you're having lunch, and and then talk about it with friends and family. And if you are a civic group and you'd like to have Jill come and make a presentation, maybe to Rotary or the Lions Club, for example, just give you a call, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to do that.
Yeah, we just want to generate more awareness, more understanding. People may not realize the financial model of ranching, for example, but the whole time that they have cattle out on the range, and then there's the threats, like you said, it's drought or wildfire, all these things that are not within their control. But they already have money that's out. They don't get paid until the end when the animals are sold.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So can you imagine that having your entire budget out before you, not having money in the bank before you get started? I mean, that's the goal. But yes, so a lot of stress in the agriculture industry, and our farmers and ranchers could really use our support right now more than ever before.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Thank you, Jill, for reminding us of that. So of all the things on your list today, I know that we got to a lot. And I just wanted to remind folks too that our local extension services is happy for you. We talked about this a little bit, Jill, but for the opening of the Agri-Science Lab at Spring Creek.
Yeah, so exciting that we have that open, and what a wonderful opportunity for our young people at Spring Creek High School to learn so much about where their food comes from and then how that's processed.
Mm-hmm. And we had the state agriculture director, JJ Goigachia, came out for that, which was really exciting because UNR Extension Service has been involved with and helped to develop the Meat Workforce Development Program, which started at UNR, but it really thrived, I think, during COVID, right? Because we were all insecure about where our food was coming from.
Yeah, and so, part of that was developing mobile harvesting units, and so that we could take. It's very hard to transfer our animals. A lot of people go up to Idaho or they head to Fallon because there aren't very many harvesting plants anymore, and so it takes a while to get them there. And so having a mobile unit could be really helpful, but also part of that is food safety, because of course anything we want to put into the market, we want to make sure that we don't get our consumers sick, and none of us want to get food poisoning, of course. So all that is really what they're focusing there at Spring Creek High School, and it's very exciting that our school district has invested in that.
That's a wonderful opportunity. And at the same time, I know our family really enjoyed the Nevada Farmers Markets, and they may not have been aware that there was really some strategy behind strengthening the local markets, especially in rural communities. You think it was easy to just meet in the park and set up some booths and do some things, but It took a lot of work.
Yeah, a lot of marketing. And so it was really nice to work with our University of Nevada, Reno marketing program and get some help in helping, because again, these are producers and now they've got to learn the task of marketing and all these other skill sets, including growing and being aware of all that's happening, with our weather and fire and all kinds of other things. Then they've also got to figure out, well, how do we get people there and how do we market that this is healthy food and we should be eating healthy food. And so it's been really nice to have that partnership with the university too.
It's the Meet Me at the Nevada Farmers Market project, which again is ongoing. I think there may be one more farmers market wrapping up this weekend, right,
Yeah,
Jill?
yeah.
Yes.
So go out and support.
Yes, go out and get your goat soap and your honey and all the cool things.
Right.
And again, knowing that you're supporting local producers, the farm to table concept is super exciting. And again, with the addition of the AgriLab, the science lab at Spring Creek High School, I'm just hopeful that, in hearing, for example, JJ Guegachia speak, he said we are going to have more local labeling opportunities available to us, which will tell us if your beef comes from Independence Valley, good for you.
Yeah,
So,
that'd be really exciting, I think.
so it's all in the works. Well, Jill, as always, we cover a lot of ground when we visit with you because that's how busy UNR Extension is. We appreciate your time and kind of corralling all these issues for us. Yes.
Well, thank you. We love being invited and being able to, get the word out there about extension and how we can help people in our community and educate people on things that they didn't think were really out there to know about. So
you never know what you don't know what you don't know
That's
until
right. Yeah.
Jill, thank you, and you're a very important part of our community, and your work has just meant a huge difference in the quality of our lives and the opportunity to access information and education, and to know that we have some fantastic choices right here. So
Well,
thank
thank
you.
you.
Yes, thank you, listeners, for joining us. You can find Jill at UNR Extension, and they're located on Walnut Street. Just Google everything we've been talking about. It'll all come up, right? So
that's right.
yes. Thank you, listeners, for joining us for today's edition of Elko Live.